And we are live. The dog days of summer is what they call it right now. We are officially back live on the Spotlight Sports Network. It is Parlay Friday, July 29th, as we are closing the page on July, and we are into August, and the MLB trade deadline is upon us. I'm Steve Armato with my co-host, Anthony Saccone. Anthony, sir, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good today, Steve. It's always sad when July comes to an end. I mean, I love summer personally, but there are good things coming in the fall. We got the NFL starting up. We're going to touch on that in just a little bit. But it is sad always to see the summer go, because I just feel like every time and every year I'm like, oh, it's going to be a big summer, and you blink and it's August, it's September, it's October, and the summer's gone. And again, another summer where it just in the blink of an eye it's gone. But hey, it's a Friday and it's nice out, and we're going to win some bets, so it's a great day.
That's right. It's a great day. Fantastic day all around. Also, I want to touch on this. If you follow me on Twitter, last night at about 5:36, actually more like 6:30, emergency bet I put out. I hadn't looked all day. I went through the lines and I said, there is no reason that the Angels should be minus 215 against anybody, let alone they shouldn't be minus 215 against you and me, and it's just not even possible. So I didn't care if Ohtani was pitching. Rangers plus 188, cash, bang, big win last night. Not to pat myself on the back or anything, but I am patting myself on the back because just that's what I'm doing here. So today, before we begin, it's MLB trade deadline coming up in a couple days. Let's start with the big name. The Yankees have already made a small move. There are teams making small moves, but let's start with the big name, the big fish. Juan Soto. We touched on it last week. Where do we think this man might end up playing baseball for the rest of this year?
So, we were just talking about this before the show. It's, to me and you both, it's kind of probably coming down to two destinations, to be honest. It's probably between the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals. You have to just look at whether teams are ready to win, but most importantly, you have to look at the prospect system. Are these teams willing to part with their top prospects? All the reports are the Padres are the favorites right now. They have a decent group of prospects where they're definitely willing to offer their top four. And if you're the Padres, this is a move that you should make. You have Tatis coming back. If you could add, think about this as a trade deadline acquisition. Technically, you're getting Tatis and Soto at the same deadline. You're about 100 games back from the Dodgers. You're probably not going to catch them, but you're looking pretty in this wild card right now. It's going to be a tight race throughout the rest of the year for the final three wild card spots. So if you're the Padres, and guess what? The Cardinals, they're one of the other wild card teams. You don't want to see Juan Soto go to this Cardinals team and pair up with Armato and Goldschmidt. So to me, if you're the Padres, last year we thought they had Scherzer. We thought they were all in on Scherzer. It sounded like a done deal. Next thing you know, you look up, he goes to your rivals, the Dodgers, and you don't make the playoffs. So hopefully they learn from their mistakes. And I wouldn't mind, as a Yankee fan, especially, I hope Soto's gone. Let him go to San Diego.
All right. I get that. I like that. I think it's definitely between the car. They said today it was Bob Nightingale, though. Everything he tweets is usually wrong, but he said it's down to Padres, Cardinals, Dodgers, Mariners too. Mariners would be good. That'd be nice if you could pair Soto with Julio Rodriguez for the next 15 years. But I think it's going to come down, like you said, Padres, Cardinals. Cardinals always find a way. They always find a way to get a guy like this and add him to their lineup. And, they'll sign him to a big deal. Everyone's like, oh, they didn't sign Pujols, so why would they sign Soto? Pujols was 30. Soto's 23. Okay. He's 23 years old. And if you put him in that lineup, right, you put him in a line. Right now he has, who does he have? He has Josh Bell. Not bad. He's not a superstar. He's hitting 300. He's got some power. He's not a superstar. You put him in a lineup hitting in front of Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, or between the two of them, whatever you want to say. Yeah, he's gonna be a lot better, and he's already really good. So the Cardinals, to me, I'm saying Cardinals. I was really hoping the Mets would make a move here, but I don't think it's even remotely possible. They're not going to part with Alvarez. They're not going to part with Beatty. So whatever, it's fine. On the other side, what are you going to say?
Would you consider throwing a future bet on the Cardinals to win the National League right now? Because the value is never going to get better. If they do somehow get Soto, think about the value, though, right there on the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, you put Juan Soto in that lineup with the staff they already have. McCollum is solid. I don't know if Jack Flaherty, what his deal is. He always seems to be hurt. But would you consider throwing a National League future on the Cardinals right now?
I have to see how Michaelis pitches tonight before I make that decision, because I know he's been good this year. But here's the thing with him: he has last year he was not good at all, and I know he was really good at the beginning of the year. He was an all-star. I feel like he's going to regress. If he regresses, they're going to be in some trouble. If they go out and get another starter and they get Juan Soto, then yeah, I'll throw down on that.
I got a little something on tonight's game, so we'll dive into that.
That's fine. We got some comments here. Key, I was irked my week. The Phillies would beat the Cubs. Yeah, the Phillies, they really came out of the break stumbling against the Cubs, but they got a redo because they have the Pirates this whole weekend. They pounded them yesterday. I'm sure they're going to keep pounding them. Coach Dante, what's up? I'm looking forward to hearing your Houston Texans preview later. Big Coach Dante, big Texans fan, big Houston guy. So I like that. So we're starting the weekend off right here. I know we talked a little trade deadline. So Yankees need a pitcher. What are we thinking here? Luis Castillo, is that the guy?
It's Luis Castillo, Frankie Montas, or absolute bust. And of course, in the rankings, it's Luis Castillo 1, Frankie Montas 2. And I mean, Castillo, he's just an absolute stud. This is the guy that you need. One of those. I mean, he seems a bit underrated almost just because he pitches in Cincinnati. But this just seems like one of those deadline moves that will, especially for the Yankees. You just got Benintendi, which was a really good move for 3 bottom-level prospects. So that was a really good move. He went 0-4 last night. I don't care. But you get Castillo. You need a starter if you're the Yankees. If you want to make noise in October, you have Cole game 1, Castillo game 2, and if Severino or Cortez are healthy game 3, that bridge will cross when it comes. But it's Castillo, Montas, or bust, and realistically, it's Castillo or bust for me, for the Yanks.
I think you do need Castillo. I think that's the guy.
He's the guy.
I think he's the guy. Montas wouldn't be bad, though. Montas is good. It's just you can't take a lot of things into – Montas is good, and you can't take a lot of other things into consideration with him, like the team both these guys play on. But the A's are just like all sorts of bad. They're AAA, whatever. But I think Montas – I would take Montas on the Mets, actually. I know they don't technically need another starter. They're getting DeGrom back, but you can never have enough pitching. Anyway, so yeah, Yankees definitely, they got to go for it with the pitcher side of things. I would talk about Mets real quick. Like, I know they made people are like, oh, Tyler Naquin and this lefty who has an 11 ERA. Yeah, it's a small move. Naquin is basically replacing Travis Jankowski. He's a depth outfielder. That is not the move. I don't know what the deal is with this lefty. He's been good in AAA. I don't know if he's going to pitch in the majors. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. They need another bullpen arm. There were rumblings about Contreras from the Cubs and David Robertson. I don't know where those talks are. Contreras is a rental. Because Alvarez is going to be the catcher next year, regardless. He's their number one prospect. He's the number one prospect in the MLB. He's the catcher next year. Contreras, though, this year they need a veteran catcher who has won. First of all, he's a veteran catcher. He's won a World Series with the veteran staff before. He's been there, and he fixes another need, a bat, because they need another bat. I know we traded for Vogelbach. He's really good against righties. They need another bat in that lineup that scares people. Contreras is that guy. But I'm getting nervous now. I'm here, like, things are stalling. They're out on Mancini, I heard yesterday. I don't know how true that is. Twitter's a cesspool for this stuff, but I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. Like, you need another piece or two. I know you hate the Mets, but like, what do you think about all this?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I hate the Mets, but you need a catcher. I mean, and you need a catcher that has a bat. Contreras, he solves, like you said, 2 birds, 1 stone. Check him off. They could use a bullpen guy. Is that a dire need? Maybe, but the biggest need here is definitely a catcher going down the stretch. I mean, you're running out Nito and McCann in the playoffs. Come playoff time.
McCann's not even going to be there. It's Mazika right now.
No, I'm saying come playoff time.
Oh, okay.
If that's what you're running out in October, that is not ideal, of course, when a guy like Contreras is clearly not going to re-sign. Maybe he re-signs with the Cubs in the offseason and they pull what the Yankees did with Chapman. But the Cubs are looking to cash in value now. The Cubs are not good. They got to trade Contreras because he's clearly their best trade chip. Him and Ian Happ, they're going to be on the trade block. If you're the Mets, you got to do what it takes to get it done. I don't think he takes your top 2 to 3 prospects to acquire Contreras.
Well, he can't because he's a rental.
Right. So he'll take a couple mid-tier guys and maybe an MLB-ready player, whatever. But if you're the Mets, there's no reason to not get a Contreras deal done, especially if the Cubs are willing to deal him. And if you can add a little bit and you get Robertson, a 2-for-1, That's the move the Mets need to be all in on right now.
Agreed. I can't even agree anymore. Enter the lab. What's up? Parlay me. You got to wait for the parlays, Elvis. I know it's you or it's Danny. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, you got to wait. The parlays are coming. We were talking, giving some education first. All right. We're done with baseball for right now. Let's move. NFL's coming up because you know why? It's basically August. NFL is on the way. We're going to do this every week. I decided this today. We're going to go through each division one by one, future bets, see if there is any value, what the value is, what the teams are. We're starting easy. AFC East. Before we get into that, okay, DK Metcalf gets the bag. Really not much else to say. I don't know why you wouldn't trade him, honestly. Like, I mean, good for him. He's getting paid. I don't know why you wouldn't trade him. You got Drew Lock and Geno Smith throwing him the football. I don't know how useful that's going to be. And then Kyler Murray saga, that's all sorted out with. My whole thing was like, if you questioned his work ethic, why would you give him $230 million? Whatever. You're a Cardinals fan.
Well, the answer is he's one of 10 people that can do what he does on the planet, which is like run at an absolute absurd speed and then throw the ball pretty accurately for the most part. I mean, he was much more accurate, I feel like, in college he showed flashes where he can drop some deep balls in on a beautiful deep ball to Christian Kirk last year. I remember in Dallas, it was like 50 yards in the air, got him right on the run. But he has the skills to be so good, so that's why you pay him, because it's hard to find another guy like him.
Right. No, I get that. I was saying like, if you're going to question his work ethic, why are you giving him all this money? The clause is out. Doesn't matter. We're figured out there. All right. AFC East. Here we go. Future odds here. Bills -2. This is to win the division. Bills -220. Dolphins +450. Pats +500. Jets +2400. Jet fans think they have a chance this year. I don't know what that's about. You're the Jets, guys. Let's be serious. All right. So is there any reason that, first of all, in my opinion, there's no reason to bet on the Bills to win this division. -220. Listen, let's talk a little bit about futures bets. And the same thing with baseball. A futures bet, I don't see any value to lock up money for an entire season for a bet that's -220. So I would never even touch the Bills. There's no reason to lock up money for 4, 5, 6 months, whatever it is, to bet on the Bills to win the division. Okay. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So there's that. Now, is there any value on anybody else? Dolphins, like I said, +450, Pats +500, Jets +2400. If you're a psychopath. What do you think here, Ant?
So just looking at the division, we're going process of elimination. You know, when you're taking like your SATs, you got A, B, C, D. Cross it off A. We're not the Bills -220, like you said, not much value. Not even looking at D. Jets +2400. Just take your money and throw it out the window. If you want to bet the Jets to win this division, not even a chance at +2400. So that's gone. So that leaves us with B and C. We got Dolphins. We got the Patriots +450 from Miami. It's decent value. I mean, Tyreek Hill had some interesting comments the other day saying Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. Whatever helps you sleep at night when Patrick Mahomes isn't throwing you the ball anymore. You think Tyreek Hill. But so then true. The Patriots are +500. A little bit of a sleeper there. I mean, they were a playoff team a year ago. Mac Jones looked really good in his rookie year. I mean, this is a Bill Belichick-led team. This guy, he just knows how to win. And, you know, Mac Jones will see his progression possibly in year 2. I could see him getting even a little bit better. He's got some okay weapons. They could use definitely a real good number 1 option at receiver. That is the problem there for the Patriots that I don't like. But at +500, if you want to take a shot at it, I mean, listen, the Bills are, when all's said and done, they're most likely, in all likelihood, going to win this division. But there's not value at -220. So if you want to throw a little something on the Patriots at +500, I could see you throwing a little bit on it. And they could be there at the end of the year. I mean, they were back and forth with Buffalo last year in both of those games that they played. They were neck and neck with Buffalo until the playoffs, of course. But for the most part in the regular season, the Patriots are right there with the Bills. So maybe at +500, take a shot.
Insane, not insanely. I agree with you. So I think the Dolphins are going to be primed to disappoint everybody this year. I mean, it's not that I don't think Tua is that good. I don't think Tua is that good. I don't think Tua is that good. There, I said it. So whatever. Also, apologies. My dog is going absolutely bananas in the other room. I don't know why. All right. So I don't think Tua is that good. I think Dolphins are prime disappointment territory. Now, the value is on the Patriots +500. Why? It's football. You know what happens every single year? Injuries. Just if, I don't want this to happen because I want him to win the MVP and I want the Bills to go far. But if something happens to Josh Allen, that changes the entire outlook of that team. He is the team. So the value here, and look, he's not like, I know he likes to run. Sometimes he ran less last year. I think he needs to just not run at all. You want him protected at all times. But if something happens to him, then the Patriots would be my pick here. I think, like I said, Dolphins primed to disappoint. I think if you're going to place a future in this division, it's got to be Patriots. Or you could do Dolphins too, but I think Patriots are the play, especially if Mac Jones progresses. You still got a great head coach, Hall of Fame head coach. I don't know, man. That would be my play. I'm not telling you what's going to happen, but that's the play. You're not locking up, like I said, you're not locking up money for 4, 5, 6 months on minus 220. Yeah, you'll lock it up at plus 500 though. So that's my take. That's the AFC East for you. Let's get into why everybody's here. It's Parlay Friday. Let's start with our best bet. This is the solo bet before the parlay. So best bet for today. What do you got, Ant?
All right, best bet. Like I said, every week we just look for value in these bets. So Miami Marlins home underdogs today at plus 100 on the money line. They got, I'm saying this, they got the best pitcher in baseball on the mound, Sandy Alcantara, 1.61 ERA, a .90 whip. But here's the thing, and here's the catch, why I'm taking the Marlins. Usually I never would because the Mets are a really good team. This just seems like a trap game for the Mets, right? You're coming off your World Series. No, I'm just kidding. I got to poke the bear, Mets fans. Stir the pot a little bit.
Don't even go there.
You're coming off two of your biggest wins of the season if you're the Mets. The atmosphere was electric at Citi Field for the Subway Series on Tuesday and Wednesday night against the Yankees. You're going to Miami right now where there's going to be more people in the left field nightclub in the Clevelander than there are going to be watching this baseball game. The atmosphere is going to be just an absolute letdown for the Mets. And you look across and you got Sandy Alcantara throwing at you. So the catch is we just need the Marlins to get a few runs here against Chris Bassett. That's the problem is the Marlins offense, which is why the Marlins are plus 100, or else anytime any other team Sandy Alcantara would be on, anytime he pitches, that team would be the favorite for sure. So at plus 100, they're underdogs. We need the Marlins to score some runs against Bassett and hopefully pull out a win tonight because I'm calling a trap game for those New York Metsies.
All right. One, I hate you. Two, I don't fully disagree with you here.
Right.
Alcantara has pitched against the Mets a few times this year. Mm-hmm. He's been really good against the Mets this year. Mm-hmm. I think the play in this game, though, in my opinion, is the under. Like,
yeah, you can make that argument.
Like right now, like I'm gonna look at this right now. Okay, first of all, the Marlins don't score. Their offense is god awful. Let's take a look. We're going live to the books. I don't know why I have a pen on me with all these shows. I don't write anything down. It's typing, but it just makes me feel good while I'm on the show. So there you go. Little there for you. So let's look at this right now. On the under for that game. It's set 6.5. 6.5. They're talking about no runs being scored in that game. So I don't hate that. All right, fine. I get it. There is value there on the Marlins. Plus also that you're probably going to be right because that line has moved already. That was plus 106 earlier. It's moving Marlins now. Although a lot of people are probably going to be on the Marlins tonight because Alcantara is pitching.
Plus without, yeah.
Either way, doesn't matter. I like where your head's at. I'm going to go my best bet here. Rays, Guardians, first 5, under 3.5. This is at minus 122. Since the return from the All-Star break, the Rays are 25th in OPS and 23rd in runs scored, and it's not getting any easier tonight against Shane Bieber. Bieber actually hasn't been great of late, but it's a great night for him to get back on track against the struggling offense. On the other side, the Rays are throwing left-hander Jeffrey Springs, who in 5 starts at home this year has pitched to a 1.76 ERA. The Guardians are 23rd in the league in OPS against lefties, so this one doesn't scare me. I don't care that it's 3.5. I get the hook. If it's 2-1 after 5, you win this one. First 5 under 3.5. Rays, Guardians, minus 122. That is my best bet for this lovely Friday night.
I'm a big fan, and here's my reasons why I'm a big fan. You know, I went above and beyond. I did my homework, pulled my Kyler Murray, did my 4.5 hours independent study before the show today, and I was looking at this game as potential betting, and Shane Bieber in his past 4 games, it has been good start, bad start. No, sorry, bad start, good start, bad start. So today, he's going to get back on track, going for the good start. Did my homework on this. Bieber's going to be back on track tonight. And the Rays, they're a team that they got an opener in Springs. They're just going to throw a bunch of random guys out of the bullpen that you never seen before that throw well. And Guardians, really not a good offensive team. So I do like this bet a lot. Big fan.
All right. I like that. I don't think Springs is an opener anymore. I think he started as an opener. And now he goes into goes a little further now. So I just whatever it is, whatever. The Guardians, they were at one point, the Guardians were the worst team in the league against lefties. That is now owned by the Marlins, but they've gotten better. But I don't know. This is gonna go. This is another one. The over under is set at 6.5. So whatever. That's my best bet today. Now let's move on. Why is everybody here? Yes. Everybody's here because it's Parlay Friday, and they want to know what our parlays are doing, what we're looking at, and let's kick it off, baby.
All right. So hit my last 2 parlays in these past 2 weeks. So we're going for 3. So I'm calling this baby going for 3. Why not me parlay? Get these odds at plus 450. We'll kick it off with the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line. Cardinals getting back their big sluggers in Armato and Goldschmidt, where they couldn't play in Toronto because I guess they weren't vaccinated, whatever. Not questioning that. But they did take 1-2, or 1-3, I should say. So they're playing good baseball. To take 1-3 in Toronto without their best boppers is pretty good. And Miles McCollum on the mound, he's tough to hit against. He's got a .99 whip this year. Tough to get hits and score runs, scratch runs across. That's all-star Miles McCollum. And then Anibal Sanchez for the Nationals. He's only thrown 10 innings this year, and he's already given up 3 home runs. So Cardinals money line. Moving on, Rangers, and we're taking Rangers on the money line against the Los Angeles Angels tonight. Angels on a 4-game home losing streak, and then you got Martin Perez on the bump. He's been pretty good this year. He's got a 2.59 ERA, but the catch is he's 8-2 on his record. So the Rangers do win games for the most part when he's on the mound, taking on a really struggling Angels team that got shut out last night. And lastly, we're going Seattle, Houston tonight. First 5 under 4. It's Verlander against Robbie Ray. Verlander's numbers in the last 5 games are absolutely off the charts. I mean, he's 5-0 with a .79 ERA and 36 strikeouts in those 5 games. One of those games came against the Mariners this past Sunday, where he threw, I believe it was 1-run baseball, 4 hits in 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, just shoved against the Mariners. And then Robbie Ray, reigning Cy Young, he's been Jekyll and Hyde all season, and he was not good this past week against these exact Houston Astros, gave up 6 runs in 3 innings. But I expect him to make the adjustments that he needs to make and prove why he got all that money in the offseason. So we're going first 5 under 4, and you get all these odds when you add them up at plus 450.
Wow, only plus 450 for all that.
Yeah.
That's weird. That means it's probably going to hit.
It's going to be 3 in a row.
That means it's probably going to hit right there. Plus 450 for all that. You want like that? That's probably going to hit. I like let me ask you this before I go to my parlay. I think I said McClanahan a while ago was the Cy Young. I changed my mind. Justin Verlander should win the Cy Young.
He is on an absolute tear, which means tonight he may get bopped for like 12 runs in the first 4 innings. But yeah, it's one of the 2 of them right now.
Here's why I'm saying Verlander. Because the Rays are doing McClanahan no favors. They keep pulling him at 81 pitches.
Oh, like 4th inning, I know.
They keep pulling him at like 80 pitches, and he's losing out on numbers. Verlander will go the whole game if you let him.
Oh, my, he'll throw 130, 140.
He'll go the whole game if you let him. So if you're going to argue Cy Young here, the guy who does more for his team because they just let him pitch is Verlander and the Rays baby McClanahan, and they deserve every loss they get when they pull him at 80 pitches with the lead. So I don't care. I hate the Rays. I hate the Rays and the way they do business. Let's move on. I like that. So plus 450 for all that. I got a different one today. All right. This one is all props. This one is called Props Can Be Fun Too. Plus 664. And this is for all 3 of these hitters to have 2+ total bases tonight. Josh Bell from the Nationals, Nick Castellanos from the Phillies, and CJ Cron from the Rockies, all to have 2+ total bases. So this is solely based on the numbers that each of these guys has against the starting pitcher that they face tonight. All right, let's start. Josh Bell against Miles Mikolas. 28 at-bats, 286 average, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Large sample size, good numbers. I like that. Then we go Nick Castellanos against Jose Quintana, 38 at-bats, 289 average, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, almost a carbon copy. And then we got CJ Cron against Julio Urias, 20 at-bats, 350 average, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. You put all this together for all 3 of these guys to have 2+ total bases. That is plus 664. So before we keep going, what does 2 total bases mean? It means it could be 2 singles. It means it could be a double, whatever it is. Castellanos, look, Castellanos has been in a slump. However, his last 2 games, His last 2 games, he was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and last night he was 3 for 5. And against lefties this season, he's hitting .305 with a 743 OPS. So I like this one a lot tonight. And how do we feel? I mean, we got to do some props. I mean, the props, I didn't really love anything, so I went with props. How do we feel?
Yeah. We're throwing a curveball at the audience today. I like it. This is why you come to Parlay Friday. You get props, you get, value bets and the best bets. We throw it all at you. But I do like this bet. I like that you got 3 pretty decent boppers in there, because it's tough when you have like little singles guys, if they go like 1 for 3 and they only have a single, especially when you want the 2+ over bases. So a guy like CJ Cron, it takes him to run into 1 pitch, especially in Coors Field tonight. And I mean, if he puts one over the fence, there you go, 2 bases, 1 swing. And Josh Bell, he's a solid hitter. And for Josh Bell, I mean, he's trying to get his trade value up, because I'm sure he wants out of Washington. So the more he hits, the more value he accumulates, and then the easier it is for the Nationals to trade him, and he gets out of there. So I do like this bet, and 2.5 bases for all these guys. Castellanos,
no, 2 plus, not 2.5, 2 plus.
2 plus,
so,
even better. So
key,
2 plus, there we go.
2
Done.
plus. Key, it was CJ Cron, and it's not 2 hits, it's 2+ total bases. If you go on FanDuel, you look 2+ total bases. So, I mean, and then that includes if they hit a home run, like this is, locked in. I'm not doing the home run. I'm pissed at myself because the other day I went on a Twitter Spaces and I said, Matt Olson, 2+ total bases, and he hit a home run. The juice for the home run was way better than the 2+ total bases. Either way, I'm playing it a little safe here for the parlay. Plus 664. Very nice. All right. That's going to wrap up today's show. Is there anything you looked at other for the weekend, like golf or anything like that?
I mean, my independent film study was, just kind of limited to baseball this week. So
there you go. All right, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to the Spotlight Sports Network on YouTube, Parlay Friday on YouTube and Spotify. And of course, head to itsparlayfriday.com for the new apparel that we're dropping. We just dropped these Big Risk Energy shirts. So the pretty good, pretty nice if you want some apparel. Have an amazing Friday. And remember, everyone, if you want to be a man at night, you got to be a man in the morning. We will see you next week. Let's go win some money.